solving some special cases here. We have 7x plus 28, and now we're setting it equal to 0. So let's see what we need to do here. Again, and this will be our first case since we have an equal sign. So we have 7x plus 28 equals 0, or 7x plus 28 equals negative 0. Well, this is just 0 in both cases, so we really just need to solve one equation. So we'll have a 7x plus 28 equals 0. 7x is equal to negative 28, or x is equal to negative 4. So we really just have one solution here, which is going to be our negative 4. Example 2. Now we're dealing with a negative number, so let's think about this for a second. If our absolute value is greater than a negative number, what will this be? Well, it's going to be all real numbers because the absolute value is always going to be non-negative, right? So in this case, let's think about this. If we plug in a 1, so absolute value of 6 times a 1 minus 9 greater than negative 2, we'll have a 6 minus 9 greater than negative 2, which would be the absolute value of a negative 3, which would be a 3 greater than negative 2. So it doesn't matter what number we plug in here. We could literally plug in 1,000, and for x we could plug in negative 1,000. It's always going to be true because regardless if we get a positive number or if we get a negative number, the absolute value of that is always going to be greater than a negative. So in this case, what we can say is all reals can also be written as negative infinity to positive infinity. One more special case, 2 minus 5x less than or equal to negative 5. So the answer to this one is that there's no number whose absolute value is less than negative 5. Why is that? Well, again, let's plug in some values here. Say we plug in a 1 less than negative 5. We'll get the absolute value of 2 minus 5 less than or equal to 5, which would be the absolute value of negative 3, which is just 3 less than or equal to negative 5, which definitely doesn't make any sense. So it doesn't matter what number we plug in here, the absolute value is always going to be positive. So let's say no number whose absolute value less than negative 5, or we can just do this for no solutions here.